So let's start from the beginning. My mom, when she was pregnant with me, she got what's called toxemia. They had to do an emergency C-section, and I was born at 27 weeks. I weighed 2 pounds 7 ounces. I was 12 weeks early. If they didn't perform that procedure that day, we both would have died. I spent 120 days in the neonatal intensive care unit. My mom was there every day during the daytime while my dad was working, and at night my dad would take over and would be there every night with me and make sure that someone was at the hospital 24/7. At about 2 months of age, they were trying to get me off of the oxygen machine and the blood transfusions and basically force my body into breathing on its own and producing its own blood. And the nurses weren't paying attention to my saturation levels, and I crashed. All of the nurses and doctors assumed I had a condition called tracheomalacia, so they scheduled what's called an LMB, or a laryngoscopy bronchoscopy, to be done. And while the surgeon was in there performing that procedure, he caused scar tissue growth on my vocal cords and partial paralysis of my vocal cords. Didn't really let my parents know that that's what he did, so I came out of the procedure with a tracheotomy. Because the only solution for a child with tracheomalacia that I know of is they perform a tracheotomy. So I had a trach in my neck for 6 years. After that procedure, I did not cry, didn't make a sound for 2 years. My parents thought it was odd, but they didn't know anything different. Nobody said anything otherwise, so I knew it wasn't normal, but they didn't know what to do at that point. Between the span of being born to when I was 6 years old, I had 11 surgeries. My older brother learned how to take care of me. I had this suction machine, this little device that I had to carry with me, and my throat became my nose, so all my mucus would collect there, so I had to learn how to suction myself. At 3 years old, I could do it myself. When I got to be about 6 years old, there was a surgeon at Children's Hospital, Orange County, and she did what's called a rib graft. And what she did was she took a piece of my rib cartilage and split the trachea open, opened it up apart, and put the piece of cartilage inside my trachea tube to hold it open and spread it around the vocal cords and the scar tissue so I could breathe better. And then she was able to remove the tracheotomy. So that was the last time I had a surgery, and that was 25 years ago. Because of the paralysis of my vocal cords, my voice never gets a chance to rest. My voice is always hoarse, and when I get winded, I wheeze like I have asthma, even though an inhaler won't fix it. Nothing will fix it. So growing up, I could never do sports, can't run, can't yell, can't scream. If I do play sports, it's for a very short time, and then it takes me about 10 minutes to catch my breath. So growing up, never did sports. My brothers did sports, all my friends did sports, but I couldn't do it. Being homeschooled my whole life, all my friends and all my interactions was from kids from church. So growing up, my mom's Christian, my dad's Christian, my mom's an organist and pianist. So church was all I knew. That's not gonna work. Every time I had a surgery, my dad would talk to me about that if I passed away and didn't wake up in surgery, then I'd wake up and see Jesus. And I was like, all right, I'm cool. I was 5, 4, didn't bother me. I was like, okay, cool, I know where I'm going. But I really started learning more after all my surgeries and going to Sunday school and reading the Bible. And about 9 years old is when I fully committed my life to the Lord. And I knew that's what I wanted to do. And it wasn't just something because all my friends were doing it. No, it's something I knew I wanted to do. I knew the reason. I knew there was a purpose. I knew there was a creator. I'm like, yeah. And I know I messed up, and I need him in my life. So my mom pushed me to start going to the junior high group. I didn't want to go because there's a lot of people, I don't know anybody. Like, I didn't want to go being around that, but she pushed me to go, and I ended up really enjoying it. And I still have some of those connections to this day. And it was very important and very helpful for me during that time, because that's by the time I started working full-time with my dad in construction. So that was my only break outside of work, was church. I had a bunch of really awesome leaders in junior high, and then when I went to high school, a lot of the leaders moved up with me, so I was able to develop those friendships. And I found that I couldn't really relate to kids my age. I related more to the adult leaders because I was dealing with adult stuff at 14, 15, and dealing with adult stuff when I was a young kid with all my medical. So I grew up at a really young age and took on a lot more than most kids had to go through at that age. So when I would talk about issues I was dealing with, all my friends would just look at me like, all right, whatever. Let's talk about sports or math class tomorrow or the exam we got. There was only one other kid that also worked for his dad, and he did carpentry. I drew closer to the Lord when I was going through my divorce because it was devastating, and I didn't know how I was going to get through it. But I knew as long as I stuck to God and was seeking Him through all of that, even though none of it made sense, that somehow I would get through it. And it doesn't mean it's not painful. You go through circumstances that are very painful. But God can use those circumstances to teach you and mold you and get you through anything. I have a few good friends, and I still have to this day, that I would confide in and talk to. And they will also encourage me not to give up hope, to keep going, keep doing what you know is right, and God will get you through it. It's a period of time where, life is really bad. You don't know how you're going to get through the next day, but like the scripture says, if the birds of the air don't worry about where they're going to eat tomorrow, where they're going to lay their head, why am I going to worry about it? He'll take care of me just like He takes care of the birds of the air. I struggle. I have my moments and my days where I'm totally not in the right mindset. And then God reminds me, hey, come on. I've been there for you. I'll always be there for you. As long as you stay close to me, I'll get you through it. That's what's got me through a lot. Pretty much all my situations is knowing that no matter what, that He's always there. And has got me through it in the past, and why wouldn't He continue to do it in the future as long as I stay close to Him? Hi, I'm Daniel. I'm 31 years old. I'm an electrician by day, car mechanic by night, and this was my story.